Welcome, my name is Jeremy Garcia, and this is Wages of Cine's 31 Days of Horror. Now, for my movie this week, I wanted to choose something that was on Netflix. My last one was in theaters, Crimson Peak. So I decided to go back to Netflix, and for my Netflix movie, I chose Late Phases. And it's on Netflix, so you can go check it out. But basically, the premise is this. You have this older Vietnam veteran, is our protagonist, goes by the name of Ambrose. And his son, we open the film, his son is taking him to kind of a retirement community. And it's not until he gets to that community, and on his first night there, that he realizes that some of his neighbors and things like that are getting attacked by what seems like wild animals. But it's not long before Ambrose puts together that is something more sinister and something more werewolfy, basically. So this film has a lot of things going for it, and I think it's fascinating. First of all, to see this movie from the point of view of a blind man. Our main protagonist is blind. It's very interesting. I find it interesting that we find, because what draws me to these films, especially monster movies or things, it's what's the monster look like? What's their take on the werewolf? What's their take on the vampire? What's their take on this and that? That's what fascinates me. And so it's multi-layered for me when I can see through the eyes and I can think about it in terms of like, well, this protagonist is blind. He doesn't even really, he thinks he knows he's going up against a werewolf, but all he has are those sounds, and all he has are those all he has is his senses to rely on. And so it's interesting that what draws me to these films is the creature design and things like that. And it's interesting that our main protagonist can't even see the creature. And so I find that interesting. But basically, it's kind of he integrates himself into the community, but everything he does from the start of that, he starts going to church service every week, even though he's not religious. He starts kind of wandering over to other neighbors to kind of, go and greet them. He poses as he's apologizing for his behavior from previous scenes, but in reality, he's kind of checking things out. His entire goal upon that first meeting of the werewolves is to prepare himself for that next full moon and to get himself ready. So you kind of got a little like, I don't want to liken it to Home Alone, but it's just that preparation for, he's like, okay, the full moon's in a month, so I've got a month to get ready for what's going to happen. And so basically the film takes place over that month, and we see him stocking up and he's getting water and things like that, and then, amenities and different stuff like that. He's getting silver bullets made. He's even setting some traps for the werewolves and things like that. And you expect a little Christopher Columbus score to come through. But it's interesting. I enjoyed it. The only thing we see towards the end, I'm not going to spoil it for you. We see towards the end that we see him kind of put a hearing aid in, and he's already got his hearing's a little better because he's blind. But we see him when he's dealing with the werewolves, we see him put a hearing aid in, just to kind of amplify his hearing. And I like that, and I wish we'd seen a little more of that, a little more of a kind of Daredevil-esque, if you know what I'm talking about, like where I wish we could have seen a little more of his selective hearing as he hones in on certain sounds. And I really wanted to see some interesting camera stuff with that, like maybe using a lens baby. If you don't know what that is, it's a mount that goes on your camera lens, and it will blur out planes of the image. So I'll do it right here. I'll do it on this image here. It kind of blurs out planes of the image and leaving just a selective spot in focus. It's a pain in the ass when you're on set as the AC using it, but I think it would have been cool to do some stuff like that to highlight selective things that he's hearing, especially when the werewolves come into play. The other thing I kind of didn't like, I didn't hate it, but was the creature designs themselves. The werewolves kind of went with more of a cat-like gremlin type feel. To me, they reminded me strongly of Gremlins or or something like in Twilight Zone's Terror at 20,000 feet, you know, or something like that. I like it. I mean, I would much rather prefer they do this than they do some CGI werewolf garbage. I'll take the suits any day. That's awesome. But the creature design just for me wasn't really. I wasn't really feeling it 100%. I wish. I guess I just like more traditional werewolf stuff. I did like that they chose to go practical though with suits and things like that. I think that's a cool thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. There's a nice throughout the thing where we kind of get a little father-son relationship that's maybe on the rocks. That's beginning to be mended. We get to kind of see that kind of come full circle towards the end with a decent payoff there. So I think this movie does a lot of things right. We have a pretty good supporting cast, including, I think, who plays the priest. It's the guy from Manhunter, which is the superior to Red Dragon. I don't care what you say, Jay. So I believe he's a cameo as the priest, and I really like his role as the priest. And and I'm not going to cut to it, but there is an awesome transformation scene that is done in basically what feels like one shot, and of our main transformation of the werewolf. I'm not going to show it because I'm afraid that it does show the main person who's the werewolf, who's the main culprit, and who kind of starts it. So I'm not going to show that, but I think you guys should check this out. It's on Netflix. If you like werewolf movies, if you like monster movies, freaking pop-ups on the screen. I think you'll definitely enjoy this if you like werewolf movies. If you like monster movies, I think you'll enjoy it. So go check it out. It's on Netflix. Put some comments down and below if you saw it, what you think. Let me know what you think of the creature design of the werewolves. I kind of thought they were okay, but let me know. So this has been Wages of Cine's 31 Days of Horror, and be sure to check out some of their other reviews. The review tomorrow, the review that was yesterday, and make sure you subscribe to these guys. And I will see you on the next movie.